Hi guys, it's Dokkan time again, and I'm assuming everyone that's pulled the new GT duo are wondering what they should probably build the hidden potential with. Well, I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible for you. Just a quick note, if you already have a general idea of how you want to build the unit, or even the Z duo, keep in mind that the 8th anniversary battles will be here on part 3 of the celebration, which won't be till the dang near end of the month. But it's good to keep in mind that if you can complete the missions for the last stage, which would be the 8th anniversary stage, you will get these special skill orbs that actually give quite a really good freaking hidden potentials. So we got a gold orb here at critical +5 and additional attack +5. And then we also have a silver orb that gives critical +4 and additional +4. And then they have bronze orbs that give defense +800. Now, I don't think you need the bronze orb specifically, but at the least, you need to save the gold orb space open for you. Because this is just huge. That is humongous. And pretty much both units both want crit and additional. So we'll get into that right now. So just going over the unit, Power Wishes, Battle of Fate, Final Trap card, Shadow Dragons 200, attack and defense 200, plus an additional attack defense when 50% or more on HP. They also get an additional key +1 per key sphere obtained, and an additional defense +100% as the first attack in return. But the irony here is like you're not really ever gonna put GT Duo in the first slot. Unless you're trying to get them killed, which you'll probably do in their standby phase, but we'll talk about that later. But in the second or third slot, they're getting an attack +100%, and they're getting key +2 per key sphere obtained, which is immensely better and just much more key. They also launch an additional attack that has a 70% chance of performing a super at 18 key, and then they have a guaranteed super at 24. So just with that, they have guaranteed additionals. They have one guaranteed, and then a possible another one. And then as key +1 and reduce damage received by 10% up to 50 with each super attack performed. You're going to hit this probably within the second or third rotation that they come in. Probably the second rotation they come in. Because as long as they're not fighting someone like stupidly weak that's going to die from one hit, you're probably going to get at least 2 super attacks each time. So you're getting this fully built up, you're getting an immense amount of extra key. You're pretty much always going to be able to get the additional 24 key. You're pretty much always going to be able to. If you don't, I mean, you got really cucked on the freaking key, the key landings. So they do stack attack on 12 and 18 key. The 18 key is greatly stacking. But they only raise defense for the turn, so that is why they are a second slot unit specifically. In slot 1, it's very dangerous, as even with 50% damage reduction, they only have about 2 to 3k defense, or a 200 to 300k defense as a 55% unit. That's really weak. 200k defense at 55% is very disturbingly weak, so you want to make sure you always put them in slot 2. Now, on that thought process, everyone's probably going to go with, hey, I'm just going to throw dodge onto them. Okay, you can throw dodge onto them, that's fine. But keep in mind that you have to receive 4 or more attacks in order to hit that standby. Now, obviously, you going full dodge is not going to make this unit an ultra instinct freaking unit, but you do need to keep in mind if you really want to get to that standby faster for whatever reason, like cooler core or something, you might want to get hit a couple times. And like I said, in slot 2, they're not dying, pretty much. They're pretty much not going to die as long as they got 2 supers off, and I mean, they'll be fine, especially once they fully build up their 50% damage reduction. So with that all in mind, what's the key missing thing here? Well, there's no crit. There's no crit at all. They don't really need to dodge. They already have built-in additional. So, in my personal preferencing, I would suggest going crit as their primary focus. as it'll help them with the Spirit Bomb, it'll help them with doing more damage, and it's the only thing they're lacking. If we do want to look at the Super Saiyan Vegeta part of their kit, which is the Sandbai, this unit here is just really meant to get killed and then launch the Spirit Bomb. That's really what the point of it is. But at the least, they're giving Ki plus 8 and attack plus 80% to all allies, which is huge. And, you know, once the revive comes through, you hit the Sensu Bean. So that is also a nice thing. And they get an additional attack plus 39% when they actually launch the Spirit Bomb if you don't kill. If you don't kill. The odds of it are pretty low, though. So, like I said, with all that keeping in mind, I would highly just suggest going for straight up crit as their primary thing. Not to mention they are an STR unit, so even at 55%, you're already starting off with 5 crit total. For that silver slot and the bronze slot, if you had a 5 and then a 2, that's an automatic 12 crit to pump into them at 55%, which, you know, it doesn't sound like a lot, but at 2% each, that's 24% chance to possibly critical? That's not bad. That could be worse. That could be worse. You can also go ahead and go a healthy mix of crit and additional if you so choose. The additional I get, you know, put the rest into additional, go full crit though, is still my primary thought process. If you really want to go dodge, then by all means go dodge. I mean, they're, like I said, they're already additional in their passive. There isn't too much of a reason to go for the additional unless you really, really, really want the odds of maybe getting an extra stack in, which is still good, and it is more defense for them. Majority of players are probably going to go for straight up additional and crit. I would suggest going for full crit and then put the rest into additional and then put a little bit like a level 3 dodge into them, but primarily focus on crit and then additional is my suggested choice for these guys. I think they should be fine defensively. If the game comes to a point where they do not have enough defense any longer and the damage reduction isn't enough, you might want to just kind of put some of those crit orbs over to the additional side to potentially get an extra super attack in to build that defense on the worst case scenario. But I stand by this point, full crit and then additional, or, you know, healthy mix of the two. This unit doesn't need dodge, at least not right now, in my opinion. But either way, at the end of the day, it's your unit, and you can build them however you so wish. Anyways, guys, I hope that helped you figure out what you wanted to build this unit with, and I hope you have a good day and a good night.